Hey guys, it's Steve Lawson here. Welcome and thanks for joining me on this video today. So I just wanted to quickly go over a few things. I had a late night last night. I was watching a webinar which was being hosted by the leaders of the Internet Lifestyle Network, Mark Hoverson and Vincent Ortega, and there was one or two other leaders on there which were great because I hadn't seen the main people within the network because I'm fairly new to it. But my sponsor was in there and she was doing an awesome job. But what struck me was the conversation that Mark Hoverson was talking about with where he actually went into a little bit of past history about the number of times that he'd failed in his life. And you know, the question that I get a lot from people within my team and other people that I speak to on the internet is, you know, how long is it going to take before I get successful? You know, how long is it going to be before I'm earning a full-time living? And to be honest with you, it's not a question that I can give a straightforward answer to, because ultimately, you know, we're all individuals and we all have to make a decision about what we want from this business. We have to make a decision as to how far we want to take this business, how far we want to develop ourselves. And one of the things that Mark Hoverson was saying is that he set out on this kind of entrepreneurial path from a very early age. He already had it within him that he was going to be successful, and he wasn't going to let anybody stand in his way. He wasn't going to let any failures stop him from getting to where he wanted to be, because he had the right attitude. He wanted to do well. He wanted to be a success. He knew his reasons why, and he wasn't going to be upset by any failures. And he said himself that he failed a million times over, you know, before he ever made it big. And I think for anybody that's getting started in this kind of business, this online world, you've got to understand that you are really getting involved in something that is a long-term proposition. I mean, let's face it, anything that's worth doing and is worth doing well is going to take time, because if you're new to the world of online network marketing and multi-level marketing or affiliate marketing, then clearly you've got some learning to do, you've got some education to get through. And when people say to me, oh, you know, I want to make it big in 30 days, I just laugh, because it's ridiculous. If you're going to be a doctor, let's say, you're going to train for like 5, 6, 7 years, and you're going to go to university and you're going to go to medical school and you're going to put in the hours and you're going to be studying, you're going to be reading, and you're going to be doing practical work. And you know, it's going to take a long time before you get to that level where you're able to practice as a physician or a doctor or surgeon, whatever it happens to be. And again, it's the same if you're going to become a lawyer. You know, you need to go through, you know, 3 to 5 years of law school, you know, hundreds and hundreds of hours of study, all the practical experience that you're going to require. And, you know, in internet marketing is no different to anything else at the end of the day. I mean, there is the opportunity to build a business very, very quickly, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen like magic. And it's only in very, very rare cases that you see people go from zero to, you know, $10,000 a month in a very, very short space of time. And you could say they're the lucky ones, but you could also say that they position themselves to be in that place. And so, you know, you've got to look at this as a long-term strategy. You've got to look at it as a progression. You know, I started out, nearly 12 months ago, and it's really taken me pretty much, I suppose, 6 months to really get an understanding and to get to grips with the business. And the fact is that once I've gone through 6 months of struggle, I just realized that I wasn't prepared to stop. I wasn't prepared to let that struggle and let the failures put me off. And if I was going to be successful, I would need to just keep going until I made it happen. And that is regardless of how long it might take. You know, I don't look at a I don't have a date in mind. I don't have a kind of start and finish post. I just look to constantly develop, constantly create, constantly improve. And if something doesn't work, I look to try and fix it. And if something isn't fixable, I move on to something else. And I just keep going. I don't let obstacles stand in my way. And so it can be frustrating when people say to you, oh, well, you know, I tried this and it didn't work. What do I do now? Well, my answer to that is try something else, try something different. Don't keep repeating the same old things and expecting to get a different result. And we've all heard that quote before. So it's all about persistence. It's about education. It's about self-belief. It's about personal development, personal growth. It's about not giving up, not throwing in the towel, or not giving yourself a time scale. If you give yourself a time scale, then you're going to fail, because if you haven't made it on, you know, if you give yourself a 30-day time scale and by day 29 you haven't made any money, or you haven't made a sale, whatever it is, you know, how do you know that on day 31 you're not going to make a sale? So giving yourself a time scale is just really setting yourself up for failure and disappointment. So my advice is, if you're going to get online, if you're going to do this business, if you want to be a network marketer or a multi-level marketer, if you want to be a leader, if you want to make a living, a full-time living from this business, from the world of online marketing, then my advice is just to keep going and never give up. Because if you really, really want something, you will just keep going. And that's what I found has happened with me. I've had some really tough times. I've had arguments with my family. I've had arguments with my friends. I've had people say I can't do it. I've had people say it's a waste of time. It's a waste of my energy. I've had lots of people telling me that I can't do this. But ultimately, I say I can do it. I say I will do it. I say I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to put a time frame to it. I'm not going to say when I'm going to reach a certain level. I'm not going to say when I'm going to hit a certain amount of financial income. You know, I'm not going to put a figure on it. I'm just going to keep going, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to just keep helping other people to kind of recognize that they can do the same thing. And I know that if I do that, then by default, everything else will take care of itself. I haven't got to worry about you know, the money side of it. It will happen on its own. So, you know, I'm just one of those people that has realized that, you know, things do not just miraculously happen. They don't just suddenly, you don't just suddenly become successful. It takes time, commitment, and education. You need to learn. There's a lot of stuff you need to learn. You've got to get your head into those books. You've got to do the personal development. You've got to watch the videos. You've got to listen to the audios. You've got to read the books. You've got to put the stuff that you learn in. You've got to implement it. You've got to take action. You've got to take action in a big way. Okay, and you've got to step out of your comfort zone. You've got to really push yourself to get out of your comfort zone. Because what happens is, when you start to do that, you see things start to change. You know, your personality will start to change. People will start to look at you differently. People will start to give you a little bit more respect. People will actually start to believe in you more. And I've noticed this with myself. I've had, you know, many detractors over the years, and I've noticed very, very interestingly that people that used to say I was a dreamer, used to say that it was never going to work, are now they're beginning to form a different conclusion, and they're beginning to see a remarkable transformation in my personality and my self-confidence. And this will happen to everybody, guarantee it, that decides to stick it out, push through, and overcome whatever fears, whatever issues that they might have, whatever self-doubts, whatever the self-limiting beliefs that they might have. They will go, providing you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and don't give up. Just don't give up. So guys, I'm not going to carry on with this video anymore. I think I've said my piece. If you're interested in working with me, if you are keen to check out the Internet Lifestyle Network, if you want to position yourself within the business in my team, I run a team called the Power of Five, and I personally like to help every member of my team. I personally will look at what you're doing. I personally will assist you and guide you, and hopefully motivate you into getting the success that you deserve. It's what you're looking for. You're looking for exactly what I was looking for. The difference between perhaps where we are is that I've just been doing it a little bit longer, and I pushed through the pain barrier, I pushed through the struggles, and I picked myself up, and I just kept going and kept going and kept going. And if you're prepared to do that, then there's no reason why you won't be successful too. And like I say, if you want to be in my team, I'm more than happy to help you out, and hopefully get you in that position where you're making money, you're building a team yourself, and you're beginning to see the power of what the ILN can do for you. So guys, that's it for me now. I'll see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Click the link below if you want to see more about the Internet Lifestyle Network, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.